Alright, we are back again, except I didn't think about the cam difficulties we were going to have here. Hang on, I got Gideon's cam on there twice. While I fix that, we almost had a full party, except we have some technical difficulties going on, which is noticed by the fact that I've got two people on one screen here. So I'm gonna fix that while Gideon gives us a recap of what happened last time.
Okay, so previously on Route 3, Gideon Tobias, Gideon returns from his mission and finds Tobias lacking in his duties in watching our wounded individual that we were setting up in a Bacta container, and Gideon is trying to pay Sar, who's the mechanic who was keeping an eye on him, but it ended up that Meeker paid Sar, and Meeker was basically interrogating the guy, trying to figure out what really happened aboard the Inevitability that caused his friend to relinquish his captaincy to Gideon, newcomers. So after Gideon questions Tobias, they figure out that they need to go find Meeker, and they find Meeker, and they start talking to Meeker and the gentleman who's well, and I guess the gentleman was on some sort of investigation, trying to figure out what's up with these Transdoshans attacking ships en route to the Krut. His niece, was it his niece or his daughter? I can't remember.
His niece.
Niece, right. So his niece was joining him on the investigation on her upon her insistence, because apparently she was expecting a close friend and he never showed up. So they were trying to figure out what happened to him by using themselves as bait on the Inevitability, and that ended up bad for her because she ended up getting killed. So Tobias, trying to make some good out of something bad, let the investigator know that, hey, we have this hard drive that we recovered from the ship, and we'll let you have it for some money.
I mean, hey, he was thoughtful to offer. He didn't have to offer it at all.
To which the guy says, you know, I only have like 300 credits, and Gideon's like, you know what? This one's on us. It's for free. We'll help you out of the goodness of our heart.
Yeah, that's as smooth as it went.
Let's
go with that.
Reluctantly accepted.
Slightly reluctantly. But he did offer to take you guys up for a drink, and drink, of course, escalated as usual bar scenes do in the RPG scene into a bar fight.
Right.
Which I think is usually intended by the GM, but I actually was going for a little bit of a drinking contest. Alright, we are also recently introduced to a new character, Jasa. What happened in your little introductory session there?
So Jasa is on a transport ship headed to Mothership. I'll call it the Mothership. I don't know where it's at.
It's called the Krut.
We're headed there.
Don't worry about it.
Correct.
It's good.
So on Jasa's travels, he runs into he has little struggles with transport ship. They got boarded. So he helped the crew eliminate the enemy, and yeah, he was told, you know, you gotta pay us. You know, how are you gonna pay us? So he's his you know, medical profession, if you will, help pay his debt off. So hopefully,
and he did a fantastic job at that, if I do say so myself. You were making some amazing rolls.
It was a test of character.
Just like, I mean, if only we could bring your character into the real world. Just laying hands on, man, healing people.
Headbutting people.
Yeah, but it didn't just stay to that.
Second, guys.
Sure. And of course he's taking off his headphones at the important time, but it's fine. There was some Trandoshan slavers that ended up boarding the ship, and there was a bit of combat in which we learned Jasa isn't just a medic. Can also use a gun pretty well.
Yes. I found that out
So
real quick.
took a little bit of a hit, but nothing that I'm sure you can't medically fix on yourself. Yeah, so we ended the session with you being stranded out in space. You were able to save one of the crew members, but you looked and the engine had been ioned, and you guys are stuck. So we're gonna pick up back aboard the Crooked with Gideon and technically Tobias, but we're gonna say that he's sleeping this one off. He needed to get himself another drink at the cantina and get himself a little bit extra R&R, because TeamSpeak dictated it. So, yeah. Gideon, you're awoken to some metal banging or actually, hang on. Before that, we have something else to take care of. As you're headed back from the bar, you and Tobias, Tobias kind of, he's amped up, man. You can tell that he's still like just feeling the adrenaline from that fight, and as you're heading towards the ship to just crash, he just feels the need that he's like, nah, I'm not ready for bed yet. I gotta walk it off. I gotta get my mind straight. And so as he goes off, you head back to the ship. And when you get back, the hangar doors open to the docking bay, and you see a fire spray hanging above your ship, a ladder extended down as it's in mid-flight, and you see a familiar face, the Aqualish from the Foundation that was threatening all those Imperials. He's climbing the ladder, and in tow, he's got thrown over his shoulders an unconscious Jace. And as the fire spray lifts off, like, I mean, there's time to get a foolish shot off just because, but other than that, it starts lifting off and heading out.
Well, as he's climbing up the ladder, he's still within basically earshot. I'm gonna say, "Hey, where are you taking my friend?"
And the Aqualish just kind of looks down, and you can't really tell if he shrugs or not. He's got a big old heavy body on his shoulders, but just keeps climbing up into the docking port of the loading ramp of the fire spray.
Yeah.
And it starts heading out.
Well,
all right.
My ship is in no state to pursue, so I guess
It is definitely not. What kind of hole is left on that thing? Like 3 or something crazy small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'm sure Gideon wants to, he knows it would be kind of a fool's errand, and it would only add to the death and destruction that might arise. But you do recall
left.
Jay said that he owed a debt. So if they just wanted to kill him, you probably would have just come back to a dead body. But
Right.
if they haven't killed him already, then the chances of him surviving whatever is coming is a little bit higher. You know, you don't think that they're just gonna just off him right away, or they would have left a corpse. All right. Well, on that note,
I go and sleep.
as cold-hearted as it sounds, we move on. All right.
Board my ship and catch some rest because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I haven't slept in a while.
Okay.
Meditate on what to do next when I wake up.
All right. So you get a nice full night's rest, and the very, very small in this game natural healing that comes along with it. And you are awoken by some just banging and clanging, and just like it sounds like there's like a Rancor just doing some tumbling routines on top of your ship.
Okay. So
Like, I don't even need
wake
you to
up.
make a perception check for that. Like, it's loud.
Okay. All right. I see if I can go to the cockpit and get an eye of what's going on.
Sure. You get up
Maybe.
to the cockpit and you're looking around. You can't really see above it. Like the cockpits, I mean, it's meant to look forward. You know, it's not really
Right.
meant back. So you're looking through the viewport, but you don't really see anything.
All right. I'm gonna debark the ship and see what's going on the outside.
You head down the loading
Obviously.
ramp and you look back up at the roof of the ship, and you see like just droids, like they're filling the space, they're heading around, just sparks flying everywhere,
Oh wow.
metal durasteel parts just like strewn about, and you have to actually dodge one that kind of flies at you, and you see Sar up there just kind of ripping stuff off, welding stuff. She's got her welding mask on. She's just working away.
Okay. I kind of tap her on the shoulder, or well, actually, I say, "Hey," if she can hear me. Hey.
Yeah, a little hard to
What's
tap her
going
on the
on?
shoulder, but she kind of, you when you shout at her, she kind of like jerks a little bit, like she's startled, and she kind of looks back at you and kind of tips her canister of like a blowtorch or whatever.
Yeah.
And as she keeps going, and you kind of hear her muffled voice. She's like, "Sorry, I need to get a late start or an early start, and I had to get my mind off some things, and I knew you needed some work, so I came down and I figured we'd start and we'd settle up. You guys seem to be good for it."
Okay. Sure.
So she's like, it looks like this thing's in pretty rough shape. I doubt you could even break atmosphere on a planet. I bet like a Rancor Loogie would just take you down out of the skies. What the heck have you guys been up to?
Transocean slavers and TIE fighters. The usual.
She kind of stops welding, and her droids keep going, but she flips up her mask and she kind of rubs at her eyes. She's like, the Empire?
Yeah, we got in a scrape. We ran into a patrol. They wouldn't let us pass, so we had to deal with it.
She kind of nods, and she looks like she might be kind of pondering something, but she kind of
They didn't
just
give
kinda
us any real
sighs.
choice. So as much as we like to steer clear of trouble, sometimes trouble just won't let go of us.
She calls out like, where was this?
We were actually in the airspace of the Foundation, actually.
Was it the Reliant?
Who?
The Star Destroyer Reliant. Is that who you were fighting with?
We weren't up against a Star Destroyer, just a TIE patrol. But there was a Star Destroyer on the far side of the planet we saw as we were leaving Foundation space. It looks like they were in a hurry to get out of Dodge as well.
Well,
Sounds like you have some sort of interest in a particular unit. You have friends or family that are enlisted?
it was on the news this morning. My home planet was attacked. I think my parents were taken. They called it an act of heroics, but from the Empire. But Star Destroyer Reliant took a big group of people off my world. I don't know where they're taking them.
How long ago did this happen?
It was on the news this morning. They didn't get too far into details. It was just more of a, they tried to make it into some kind of stupid hero story.
Gotcha. Typical propaganda, I guess. Sorry to hear that.
If you're going up against the Empire, if you find anything, you'll bring it back to me, right? If you find information.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely keep that in mind. Where you find any information that's pertinent to you. Reliant.
She.
Bars and ears open. I mean. Yeah.
She nods
you've already bailed us out more than once, so.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, you won't be doing it anytime soon, though. Not unless we get started. That's one of the reasons I came as soon as I could.
Okay.
I need to get this stuff done, and it looks like it's going to
wrench.
be a couple days of hard labor.
Okay. Well, I guess I can turn a wrench and I can help you out, maybe here and there.
Sure.
Start the process a little bit.
Go and make a mechanics roll, just to see how well you help her out. Let me add in your ship's pretty beat up, so we're gonna call it a 3 difficulty.
Okay, well I'm gonna use a light side point.
Oh, thank you. I'm up to 2, and you're down to 5. Go ahead.
And expand.
All right. Not bad. Could a little bit of threat, but I mean we're not gonna go too deep with it. It was more to see if you were gonna be helpful at all at doing some basic mechanics work to kind of help her out. So you kind of speed things along. The extra body definitely helps. That's I mean droids are good, but when you have somebody that can kind of like just think for themselves and stuff, you know, without having to be told, definitely to make things go faster. All right, so the repairs get done. The amount that you were able to pay for, I think it's 7,500 worth. So you can go ahead and notate that on your character sheet, and as it happens, she's looking around towards the end, and she's like, I've almost got this last panel back on, but I've run out of the proper adhesive. Can you run back to my shop and grab it?
Sure.
And it's
what
familiar. It's familiar stuff. You know exactly what you're looking for.
Gotcha.
Um,
What is the ship at now? Or you'll let me know when we finish.
It's what, was it 250 for each whole point, or how much?
Yeah, we calculated it that it'd be the right amount. We just use a flat rate
to fully
fully repair it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, well then, yeah, you're set. Not pulling any tricks, not trying to shortchange you at all. So yeah, whatever you paid for, the going rate, that's what you got. So you head back to her shop to grab that, and as you're looking around for it, I mean, her shop is a jumble of parts. As a lot of like mechanically minded people are, like things are just kind of strewn about everywhere, including droid parts, ship parts, land speeder parts. Like there's just things everywhere. There's a big bin off to the side that's just, there's a large sign above it that's salvage, and it's just full of stuff. And as you're going around in there for the adhesive, there's a big like monitor screen that suddenly lights up and starts blaring some kind of klaxon alarm sounding thing.
Okay, so investigate.
When you go over there and pick it up, it's like this old piece of junk computer screen, probably came off a ship, 20 years ago. Who knows where she got it at, but it looks like it's some kind of like SOS beacon, and it's going off, and it gives you like coordinates and everything, and that's really all it says. It's pretty old.
Okay. Well, I try to jot them down real quick. I'll just find something to scribble them on just before
Okay.
this thing quits. Dies on me.
All right. Yeah, head back, I imagine.
Okay. Yep, head back with the adhesive.
Okay. So she finishes up, and she's like, well, that ought to hold you for a while, but I still don't recommend going up against a Star Destroyer by yourself.
Oh, no. I wouldn't. Anyway, I gotta go. I just got this some sort of distress beacon lit up in your shop, and
User in
I'm
your
gonna check it
channel
out.
was kicked from the server.
All right. And with that, hang on. I think he timed out.
User joined your channel.
He's been quiet so long. I'm trying
Yeah.
to speed through this section. Sorry.
Okay.
But
good.
All
I'll
right.
say
I jump
something
in the
every once
ship.
in a while.
yeah. All right. So
Check
you
the
head
ship and start heading that way.
towards the coordinates listed on there.
You know, I'll make a token gesture of trying to get Tobias. You know, he's probably drunk as a skunk and probably doesn't want to
Sure.
do anything. He's probably like, yeah, I'm probably not good for flying right now. Still
Yeah,
hammered.
you can't seem to raise him. Like for some reason, like you can't tell if he can't hear you or you can't hear him. But it's like his whole mic setup isn't working. To bring real life into things.
Damn it! Well, I've got time to wait around. I'll investigate this on my own then.
was just thinking
Confident,
about that.
confident man.
Gideon is a man of action. He's
Sure.
got,
You guys
Sure.
still probably have bruises from the last fight, you know?
Let's check this out.
You
So
know?
how far is this coordinate out from the crest?
It's.
Can I make it sublight, or do I need to jump?
Oh, it'll be a jump.
Okay.
It's out there, but it's not too terribly far. I mean, it's just like an hour. And when you actually, it's not even that. It's just a short jump.
Did I roll my astrogation then? Or no?
Sure, why not? We don't see enough of that. Let's go with it. And hey, you were
terrible did I
successful,
do?
so we're gonna go with it. I didn't have a chance to back down one of those difficulties, so we're gonna say it was that 2-threat purple, because makes it easier than having to come up with something. But yeah,
Okay.
you make it there. It's solid course. Way to navigate. And when you arrive, you see this YT 1300 like just shot to crap, and its engines are out, and docked alongside of it is a YV 666.
Another one of those. Dadgummit. So I try to get on like the emergency channel, the FaceTime distress
FaceTime.
public channels.
We,
Let's say maritime, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Like,
We're not sponsored in any way, but we're
Yeah.
using FaceTime.
I said space time, like the
Space
whatever, galactical.
Sure, you're on this.
Frequency.
You're live streaming on Facebook.
Okay.
So-
So this is the inevitability. Here to answer the distress call. Is there anybody there?
So Jasa, you and your fellow crewman actually sent that distress call out not too long ago. It like you launched it, and then within 20-30 minutes, here's a ship.
Captain, I hear a transmission. Do you hear that?
And he kind of looks at you and says, You don't need to call me that. It's still too soon." It was just the other crew member that you saved, not the captain. Captain was dead.
Oh, captains.
Yeah.
Dead. Everyone else is dead. Oh,
It was
that's nice.
the guy you saved was actually the guy whose arm you popped back into his socket.
Got it.
So he's
That's
just
cool.
kind of the little grease monkey of the ship.
So,
So he heads over and he's like, "We're stranded here. We're attacked by Trandoshans. We need help."
Are there any hostile threats still aboard your ship?
No, we dealt with what we saw.
Can I roll for scanners on my ship to see if I can sense if there's still activity aboard the YV-66?
Yeah, that would
If it's
be
still
like
active.
some computer checkage. It sounds like a average thing to do. It seems simple in most other sci-fi genres. We'll just go with a 2 purple. Computers, I don't think astrogation really counts.
Yeah.
Piloting maybe would be fine. I could see it.
Well,
as
I can
a-
do piloting instead of computing.
Yeah, I could see it as
Piloting
a...
is a better role for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it should be.
All right, I'm rolling.
Alright.
Okay.
Still a little close. 1 advantage, anything in particular you want to use it for?
I don't know, a boost to any further ship-based rolls if I need.
Okay, whatever the next ship-based thing is. So you scan the YV666, and there is a life form aboard. At least one. It's kind of like a blotchy, blippy thing. So, I mean,
Is
I
it
don't
more-
imagine like it's like predator infrared vision, you know.
Sure.
So
Right.
you can
Does it
tell
give me a
that.
section of the ship, like
Uh,
the bridge or the cargo, or
it's probably
Is it-
more in the aft, like the aft
Then-
section. And
is it near the docking clamps that near the docking bay that they're attached to? Is it like moving toward like?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be moving.
Okay.
So there is
Well-
a docking bay on either side of the YT, and one of them is taken up by the YV. The YV is
Okay.
kind of backed into it.
I'm gonna come about and dock on your free docking side, and permission to come aboard. Help you guys out.
Granted. Permission to come off board as soon as possible.
Better roll
Okay.
another astrogation. Yeah, or a piloting one.
Yeah. There's a piloting check to dock. Go ahead and see if you can
Okay.
shimmy on
I'll add that
alongside
boost.
of it.
Scanning gave me better situational awareness, so I'll just get that boost from my piloting.
I wonder if I could
Nice.
help fly this ship.
That's quite a bit of advantage. 4, nice, well done. You are definitely successful. You shimmy alongside of it, and it's nice and smooth. It glides in just like a glove. I mean, you have a feeling you impressed whoever's aboard that ship there, Gideon.
Yeah. I'll remind Tobias of this, that his job is in jeopardy if he doesn't prove his worth to. Well, I didn't even hire you as a pilot. I'm doing it all myself.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure he wishes he was doing some piloting checks.
Yep.
He misses all the spaceship stuff. Alright.
Okay.
So,
So I go to the docking, open the door, and let the guys
when
on
you
board.
open the door, like there's a human and there's a Selkath aboard, and the human like sprints into your arms and just tries to like get off of his ship, and he just wants on. Please, just get us away from here.
I don't know if you can see in my character portrait, Chris. Yeah, what Gideon looks like. Got kind of shorter brown hair,
Yeah, it's true. You guys are meeting for the first time. Go ahead and
really gray eyes, a long duster, and like kind of blue-hued combat armor, like padded armor, kind of what you'd see like. Think of like rebel soldiers, you know, not quite stormtrooper armor, but like, you know, it's militaristic armor. He's wearing that underneath his trench coat. Got like a blaster pistol holstered on his right
Jeff,
thigh.
do you have the picture? Can you put it up?
I could, I suppose.
And then you can put it on mine as well.
Stand by. Because I could put it up on the stream, but
I can just revert my. I'll change my camera feed to my profile picture. I can do that real quick. But you have less work to do.
oh well, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, and then Jasa, what is when Gideon sees you, what is he seeing, as far as like how you look, your species, your clothes?
Or can I do that? I don't know. Just
I'm not sure. You sounded confident. It's all right. I can upload the image onto Roll20. Pachow.
Yeah, that's fine.
So basically, Gideon, you just see, someone wearing maybe light leather, maybe not leather, but just like a jacket, like a light jacket. Obviously, he's not wearing anything expensive. If you kind of poor.
Right.
Um,
Any particular equipment?
Blast
Med
pistol.
bag.
Yeah, I got a little pack going on.
Gotcha.
A fanny pack. Kind of corny looking.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'll introduce myself real quick. Like, well, I'm Gideon Durandal. I'm the captain of the Inevitability here. Currently absent my crew members, but feel free to make yourselves at home for the time being. Mind if I poke around your ship? I'm gonna try to further assess the situation. I've run into you guys before.
Hey, this is not my ship. Yours. Now it's yours, at least. I'm just here for the ride, so as long as you can get me to a destination,
Okay.
I'm happy.
Well, I'm gonna see if there's any survivors on board your ship, or do you know if there's any survivors on board your ship that we can rescue, or?
Let's look together. I have no idea. So far, it's just me and the passenger.
Well, you know that there's a couple non-survivors, and as you go through, there's a Trandoshan that's has a hole blown in his chest. There's also one how did you take the second one? Alright, love you, hon. And the second one, did you end up?
Got shot in the jaw. I think I remember the video. And bashed his head against the counter.
Oh, that's right, that's right. You shot him in the side of his face, and he smashed into the counter and dropped. Yeah, that's right, that's right. There's also one of the crew members that is just lying in a pool of blood, and one of them is like slumped against the wall, sitting on the floor, and there's nothing really at shoulder level, but there is a red splotch of blood and brain matter and bone chunks a little higher up, about 5 feet higher than the body is.
Okay. I yell back to Jasa. I don't know his name yet, but I yell back to the Cellcath. Hey, I gave my comlink frequency. I'm like, if you want to come with me, watch my back. I could be helpful, but if not, here's my comlink frequency. If you want to chat with me via comms, you have a comlink.
I'll take your comlink, and I got your back.
It's just a frequency to one, and I don't know that you bought one. So you can take the frequency to just have. You just write it on your hand or on a piece of paper, sure.
Yeah. So I don't want to.
Oh, are you gonna come with me? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to be alone. So
I tell the crew member, like, hey, go sit in my cockpit. You have permission to use it, and dial into my frequency. And if I give you the green light, just disembark and get out of here. I'd rather you live through this and tell somebody about what happened.
Tell someone my story. Remember me.
Yeah. I doubt it'll come to that, and also just keep an eye out for any reinforcements that might show up. I'm gonna board their ship and see if they have any captives that we can free.
All right.
If this is anything like last time, they capture people and they do terrible, wicked things to them, and I'm gonna see if I can spare somebody else that fate.
Sure. Okay. So you head along through the ship, and there's not much to it. It's pretty small. There's a little galley area. There's a cockpit, a couple rooms. Everything's pretty much empty. Everything's kind of what they said. But as you get into the cargo bay, it's really dark in there, and you can see on the far side there's a light where the boarding door to the other ship is open, and the lights are on inside there, so you can see exactly where the door is.
So I draw my blaster pistol and stay behind me, and if I shoot at something, shoot at it too.
Got it. And I obviously holster my weapon.
All right.
Take the lead, Gideon. Wait, have I even met you yet? What is your name, sir?
I introduced myself earlier, so yeah,
Okay.
I didn't. I'm like,
Got it.
Yeah.
so you know my name. I just don't know yours.
Oh.
Okay, so back in character. All right, so I board their ship and see if I can cross that bridge.
All right. So as you head in, it's set up basically like the last one. The cargo bay's been split off into different rooms, into the different sections. But you everything's kind of closed up. You see the stairway heading up towards where the cockpit was on the last YV that you were aboard.
Okay. So do I remember where the life signature was? Was it?
I mean, it was just in the aft section where all the doors are that you're in. Like, there's 3 doors on either side, kind of a thing. Like,
So kind of
they've
like
split
last
up.
time where they kept
Yeah, they
prisoners?
split the cargo bay into separate little rooms.
Gotcha. So I start knocking on the doors and saying, "Hey, is anybody here? Is anybody alive? Is anybody awake?"
You
I can hear
you
some
knock
sort
on the
of
first
response.
one and nothing really comes out. You knock on the second one, you don't get any response either, and then you knock on the third, and you hear like some instruments that are kind of clang down, some metal on metal, and then some kind of scrambling a little bit inside.
Uh-oh. Okay, so is the panel locked on the door? Assuming.
There's a panel. You don't know
Or-
if it's locked until you try to open it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to access it and open it. And I kind of motion towards the Cellcath guy, and to get on the opposite side of the door, because I'm gonna basically stack on the side of it, like I'm gonna get ready to breach and have my blaster pistol out while I'm going beep 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 beep.
Baby.
See if it opens.
Ah, the sound
See if it
effects. We spare no expense on the stream. All right. So the door opens and you guys head in, or well, not necessarily head in, but you see this this female over the top of this body that's kind of laid out. The heart monitors have since kind of gone into flatline, and she's kind of got a saw in her hand, and his spine along is ripped up, and she's
Okay.
kind of
I point my
She-
blaster
she
at her
just
and
kinda
"Stop what
freezes.
you're doing. Let me see your hands. Put your hands in the air. Drop what you have. Now."
Yeah.
Blaster
listen,
drawn at her.
she drops it, and she's like, "What happened to Lisk?"
Step away from whatever you're doing. Walk slowly with your hands up towards the sound of my voice.
She kind of backs toward the door a little bit. She's like, "You killed him, didn't you?"
I don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna stop doing what you're doing. Transoceans have done enough harm already. No more innocents need to be turned into monstrosities again.
You don't understand what's going on. If I don't keep working, we'll lose him.
Maybe I can help.
What are you trying to do? I ask her. What are you trying to do? What's the end state here?
Trying to keep
Trying
him
to turn him
alive.
into a living weapon? Yeah, so he can be one of your thralls, one of your weapons? Leash on somebody else?
We don't have such labels. They will be better.
Yeah. Right. I think he's better off dead in the state that you've turned him into. Might be a mercy. Step away from him. Coming with me. You have a lot of questions to answer.
As she kind of is looking around, your comlink goes off. The crew member that you let aboard your ship he gets on the comlink. He's all panicking. He's like, there's a bunch of alarms going off. The, there's Imperials here. We gotta leave right now.
Okay. I'm gonna set my pistol to stun and shoot her.
Oh. All right.
I don't have time. I don't have time to coax her to being
Sure.
compliant. I'm just
Sure.
gonna stun her.
Okay. You're in short range, so it'll be just a 1 difficulty, but it is gonna be a setback because there's a lot of stuff around, and if you're trying to make sure that you don't hit the body that's laying on the gurney, I'm gonna have to increase that or upgrade that difficulty to a red. But if you don't mind hitting it,
Okay.
that's up to you.
Yeah, I don't mind hitting it.
Oh,
I'm just-
okay. Then.
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself a boost for my fast strike specialization. Quick strike. He hasn't acted this round. Not that we've gone into initiative yet. But you know.
Ah, yeah.
he needed me to
We'll
click on the trigger.
treat this as a little bit of a surprise round because maybe she thought you weren't gonna
The
shoot her.
difficulty set.
Difficulty is in. Yep, go for it. You blast her and she like tenses up. I mean, almost like she's hit by a taser, but not quite as strong as far as like it doesn't just drop her like a taser would, right? Like you can tell it has an impact, and all her stuff, her muscles and everything tighten up. But as she does, she kind of drops to the floor. And she grabs a saw. We're gonna, before we go into initiative, she actually takes the saw and slices just right up her arm. She's like, "You won't take me. I know what you plan to do. It'll be a lot worse if I go with you."
So initiative time.
Sure, we can go into initiative.
I gotta take that boost out. So just cancel one of those advantages.
All right. Jasa, go ahead and give me a cool check.
A lot of advantage, but no
Okay.
successes.
Oh, that is not your cool. You've got all my stuff upgraded from the pool. Go ahead and roll it again. I forgot to take all that
If
out.
you go to your combat tab of your character.
No.
sheet,
It was on me. It was on me because I'm rolling just out of the GM pool. It makes things a lot
Gotcha.
easier. I'm finding than having like 8 windows open for 8 different dice
Right,
pools and
right.
trying to figure out who's what. So
Gotcha.
Okay, so here we go
that's on
again.
me.
Yep.
I asked for it. It's all good. All right. Well, you both beat her since you got no successes. So we got 2 PC slots and then an NPC slot.
Okay. Does your pistol have a stun setting?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm just gonna blast her again. I'll go first.
All right. Let her have it, I suppose. Doing some damage despite the dice. Look at that. All right. Not a whole lot due to soak, but I mean it's definitely she kind of she winces again as the blue like little circles hit her and she's
What kind of pistol do you have, Chris?
I'll find out.
Because most blaster pistols will have a stun setting on them.
Say Model 44.
I believe it does. From
I
what I
don't see anything that says stun. Oh, it does. Yep, it does.
Okay.
Stun setting.
So you're
Yep,
also
so
at
just-
short range from her. So
Shoot her with stun. Yeah, just
Still one
make your
difficulty,
range
one
5 attack.
black. And I'm going to spend one and upgrade that
Nice.
chip. As much
So
as
then
I don't
just have
want
roll
to.
a-
Roll your range light.
Ah,
wow.
look at that negative dice. Nothing. All right. She's she's just kind of screaming and grunting as she kind of drops to the floor, and as she falls, she kind of clatters against some of the equipment that's there, and it kind of falls to the ground as well. She kind of struggles and climbs over, and she grabs the defibrillator paddles that are sitting right there, and she just hits them both right next to her chest, and she lets herself have it and just all of a
Knock
sudden,
herself out.
yeah. So she just and as she does, like sparks kind of fly out. Her chest actually kind of pops a bit from the inside, and she kind of just like rolls over, and her eyes kind of roll back into her head.
Okay. Well, I grab her. She looks unconscious enough. And let's go. Let's bail. Let's get out of here before the Imperials get within closing range.
Okay.
So I just grab her and we got what we came for. Well, at least partially. Let's go. Run. I let the comm link on the let the crew member know. I'm like, hey, wait for us. Don't disengage yet. We're on our way back.
Okay, as you do, you start feeling the ship start rocking around from just the room that you're in already. Everything just starts kind of just shaking violently. As you run back, like it just keeps going, and it gets actually worse and worse. And you finally make it inside the airlock of. Actually, you know what? Give me an athletics roll, both of you guys, to see if you guys can make it through there without anything happening. You're running through the cargo bay. It's actually pretty packed with stuff, and then the added difficulty of everything kind of shaking around as it gets hit by fire.
So we're solid.
Let me take off the setback real quick before you do it, Jasa.
He already
Oh,
did.
oh, he did too. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. Okay, cool.
We made some awesome rolls here.
Yeah, I know. Spend all your luck now. It's fine. So you make it through, and you get into the YT 1300. Go ahead and give me another roll as you make it through that ship. It's not as cluttered, so there won't be a setback die.
That.
Yep. Ready to go.
Rolling again.
Rolling again. Nice. All right. A little bit of threat, but I'm just going to give you one strain. So go ahead and mark that on your sheet there, Jasa. Actually, both of you got a threat, right?
Right.
Oh, actually, all you guys got a threat. I didn't see that. All you guys got a threat on all of it. I need to pay more attention. So we'll just do one strain on each of those. So 2 strain apiece. You make it back to the ship, to the inevitability. I assume you close the airlock door.
Yep. And I yell on the comm link, disengage and get us out of here. I'll be in the cockpit momentarily.
It's like, not much of a pilot, but all right. And you feel yourself kind of suddenly like in your. There's definitely a feeling of like some of the solidarity you're getting from all the ships being locked together. You lose that. You can feel the difference in like just your stability as you're walking around.
Okay.
Um,
I'm like, I give the gal to Joss, and I'm like, you watch over her, keep her alive, do what it takes. I'm gonna head to the cockpit.
all right.
And give him some restraints to put her in. Here you go.
Okay.
Percents that we used on what's his face.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure. Let me take everybody back to the ship screen.
So do I need to roll anything for that, or is it just on? It's just assume that it's on and working.
You're just trying to get her or get the gal set up somewhere, like put her somewhere. It depends on what if you're thinking if you need to roll. Depends on what you're doing.
Roll for the cuffs. Like I don't know how to use cuffs. Like
Oh, no. I mean handcuffs are not
Simple
too
restraints, yeah.
terribly difficult. I'm sure you can figure out. Even if you had started with the double ring side, you'd probably figure out that you got to flip it over.
Yeah, man of your intellect, you should be fine.
I would hope so. You're a foreign intellect. All right. So, but yeah, that's totally fine. You slide you ratchet the cuff over her just gushing out wrists. Gideon, you get to the cockpit and you see that there's on your 4 there's two jump masters headed towards you, and then behind you on your scanners you can see that there's an Imperial Star Destroyer. And the crew member from Josh's ship talks to you, and he's like, "Those guys were firing on us. I don't even know what's behind."
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna try to contact the Imperials. Like, okay, get on the guns, and I hope you can shoot. You get on the gun.
okay.
And
He's like, I'll try, and he heads down there. Gets on the turret. You get on the comms. Is there anything?
Yep.
What are you saying on the comms?
like, this is the inevitability. We are a civilian vessel responding to a distress signal, and now we've come under fire. We're requesting Imperial aid. There's illegal activity afoot, and we're just trying to help.
Okay. You hear back. This is the Star Destroyer Reliant. Go ahead and head towards us. We'll cover you.
Okay, so I'm gonna flip my bird around, try to head to the Star Destroyer.
Then
Hopefully
I bet you didn't think you'd be flying towards a Star Destroyer on Will.
well, we're not doing anything wrong. They're supposed to be the cops of the land.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, hopefully they're not too harsh with us.
Okay.
I don't want to fly up against two jump masters. Our ship isn't exactly a combat ship, so...
Sure. They, you hear over the comms, stay on your current path. What is the nature of your emergency?
We were answering a distress call. This transport vessel was boarded by a Transdotion ship. We recovered crew members and a criminal that was experimenting on individuals. We can turn her over to you.
Received. Stay on your current vector. We'll bring you into Docking Bay 4.
Okay. So do the jump masters continue their pursuit?
The jump masters are pursuing, but as soon as the laser cannons from the Reliant start firing, there's like explosions happening all around them, and they kind of turn tail and start to leave, but they're taking like a wide path, seeing if they can get around. Because as you have to turn around, right, you're having to curve, and so they're trying to go along that line and see if they can't get another shot.
Okay. I let the Imperial crew know, like, be advised, we're going to fire on those ships that are firing on us. Do not mark our attacks as hostile towards you. We're just defending ourselves and assisting you in engaging them.
Alright. I'll let your gunnery guy go for it then.
Yeah, let him have it. Give him something to think about.
They're at medium range currently. So it's 2 purple, and he's...
Well, they have to be engaged, right, in starfighting?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be 2.
If they're
yeah, they were already firing. So if they were already firing, they have to be in engaged range. So he is going to take a shot. Oh, and he actually hits one of them. And
Nice.
he looks back and he's like, I got him, I got him. And,
Good job. Don't get too cocky, kid.
And he gets an advantage, which he'll assume spend on a boost to the next ship-related check.
Gotcha.
So the Star Destroyer bears in, and you're quickly overshadowed by it. It's blocking out light from the nearby sun, and you're falling under its shadow. You're heading into the docking bay?
No. Not quite.
I mean, it's right on top of you. You're gonna try to turn tail?
Don't do it.
If I punch it, how long does it take for me to get coordinates to jump to hyperspace?
That's gonna depend on an astrogation check, which you're under your combat and under duress. So
Right.
it'll be slightly more difficult.
Well, this is kind of a dual-natured mission. I want to figure out what's going on with the Reliant, so I'll dock.
Okay.
Blade.
So
Just
you head
More
towards
trouble.
the.
none of us are exactly one. I'm like, I look at you.
Josser, you're okay with
shout on
this?
the PA
Heading into
system.
an Imperial, a very
shout on the PA
large
system, like-
Imperial ship.
None of you guys are wanted, right?
I don't like this. I don't like this. I have a
I don't
bad
like it
feeling
either,
about this
but-
now.
All right.
We-
So as you get closer into the docking port, the jump manisters start falling into short and then medium range, getting a little farther and farther away. But as they head away from the Star Destroyer, they're definitely trying to track where you're headed, just in case you tried to bug out, so they could intercept. But you head into the docking port. All right. So, let me move you guys over there.
1 second, I'll be right back.
Sure. Well, since your pilot is taking a quick hiatus, I'm actually going to hit the restroom real quick. We'll take a quick, 2-minute break. We'll be right back. We'll head to the prep screen. Boom.